A really good thing about having this open G root 5 root tuning is that it will create that it creates a chord that's essentially the most consonant chord possible other than just a straight octave. And so you can move that chord by holding down the slide anywhere on the neck and it'll stay consonant as you go up. And so the key to learning some cool grooves and some songs on this instrument is figuring out how to make scales where you can move that slide around and play with that root 5 root chord in different plucking patterns and different picking patterns. So to start off with, let's figure out the major scale. To easier understand how to make a major scale, first need to understand the difference between a half step and a whole step. In music, in guitar, the easiest way to understand this is that a half step is one fret away. So for example, between the difference between the open string and the first string. It's the smallest interval you can possibly go. That's a half step. A whole step is twice that much. It's 2 fret lines, 2 frets away. And that's important because understanding the scale is all about knowing where the next note is a half step away versus where it is a whole step away. So let's begin. We're going to just start off with the open G string. We're going to play a G major scale. We're going to move up a whole step to the 2nd fret line, another whole step to the 4th, and then a half step to the 5th. Try just that much again. Continuing on, move up a whole step from the 5th fret to the 7th fret line. Another whole step, another whole step, and then a half step to reach the octave up. Reach that G. Let's try it again from the beginning. Open, whole step up, 2, whole step up, 4, half step up, 5, whole step up, 7, whole step up, 9, whole step up, 11, half step up, 12, and we've reached the G again. So try that a couple of times up and down the scale. This will be really, really useful. So once you get this scale, you can start improvising and coming up with melodies within the scale. Just randomly improvising on the major scale there. The good thing about this root 5 root tuning is that you can basically play that entire scale up and down the neck, playing all 3 strings at the same time and making that nice full chord sound. So try that, the same fret lines, the same whole step, half step pattern, but with all three strings being played. Open, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. That'll come in really handy. Once you know which fret lines are in that scale and which ones aren't, you'll be able to quickly go to those frets as you're improvising some melodies, and that'll open up a whole world where you can just have fun and not really think too hard about it. So now that we've conquered the major scale, let's try the minor scale. Minor scale is exactly the same as the major scale with only two differences. Normally, we started going up the scale with 2 whole steps. Puts us to the third degree to of the scale. That's where we're at. So on a minor scale, you take that third note and you drop it down a half step. So now the scale goes open, up a whole step to 2, up only a half step this time. That gives it that sinister minor third note is what that is. So let's continue on. Open, whole step to 2, half step to 3, whole step to 5, whole step to 7, whole step, half step. That's the other difference, is we've dropped the 7th note of the scale, which used to be up here on 11. We've dropped that down a half step as well. So 10. And once you're at 10, up a whole step to complete the octave. So let's try that one more time. 0, up a whole step to 2, up a half step to 3, up a whole step to 5, up a whole step to 7, up a whole step to 9, up a half step to 10, and up a whole step to 12. Try running that scale up and down the neck a few times and get really comfortable with it. A good exercise to really getting comfortable with these scales goes something like this. Let's use the minor scale first. And you start off with the open string, then you play the open string and the second note of the scale, and then back to the open. Then you add the third note of the scale, back down, add the fourth note of the scale, back down, etc. Just use that pattern until you get all the way up, then all the way down. Do that a few times, and pretty soon minor scale will become very easy. Once you get comfortable with these scales, try improvising around. Try coming up with your own melodies in random and unexpected ways, going from the 6th to the 2nd degree of the scale, back to the 4th. Just play around with it. Don't think too hard about it. Listen to what you're playing and have fun.